everyone, it's Natasha Boluifa with PenPatPurpose.com, here to kick off this month's Sync-Up series, Righteous Rebellion. Now, our first segment is titled, Death by Fire. I know, quite an image for a Monday morning. Well, we're going to be syncing up with God about the righteous rebellion of Shadrach, Meschach, and Abednego. Our text from today is Daniel chapter 3, verses 1 through 30. Now, I'm going to summarize pretty much what happens. There's this king named Nebuchadnezzar. He creates this golden statue and then decrees that the whole kingdom, at the sound of a series of musical instruments, bow down and worship it. Well, one day, some guys with apparently nothing else better to do than to cause trouble go running to the king, and they're like, hey, there's these 3 Hebrew boys who are totally ignoring you. The king is obviously upset, drags these 3 guys before him. Enter Shadrach, Meschach, and Abednego. So the king totally confronts them. He's like, hey, I hear you're not bowing down. I'm going to give you one last try. I'm going to play this music, and then you better bow, or I'm going to throw you alive into a burning fiery furnace. Well, the 3 Hebrew guys are like, yeah, we're not bowing down. You know, our God can save us. If he chooses to do so, great. If he doesn't, that's fine too. Either way, we are not bowing down and worshiping this statue. The king goes mental. He has the furnace actually fired up as hot as possible. It's so hot even that when the men throw the 3 boys in there bound, they actually die in the process. That's how much heat was coming out of this furnace. But then the king looks in the furnace and he sees 4 guys in the furnace. Spoiler alert, the 4th guy's Jesus. Anyway, so he sees 4 guys in the furnace, and not only are they not burning and dying, but they're unbound now and they're walking around in this furnace. So he's like, what in the world? Anyway, he calls them to come out, and they do, and they're completely unsinged, like it never even happened. It's an amazing story of miraculous deliverance by God's hand. Now, after reading an incredible account like this, I couldn't help but to ask God, Lord, is this what you expect of me? To be willing to face death by fire for my faith? And the answer is yes. But the follow-up question I had to myself, I wasn't as confident about that answer. And that was, if faced with a real life or death situation regarding my faith, would I bow my face or would I face the fire? I really hope I would face the fire. I really hope the Lord would strengthen my faith enough to rebel and face the fire and stand firm on my faith and my beliefs. But I guess the truth is, it's one of those things you don't really know what you would do until you're actually in that situation. But as I reflected and meditated a little bit more about the scripture, the Lord led me to one vital revelation. And that was, for most times, for me, the call for me to face death by fire, it isn't physical. It's never been physical. It's social. You see, I live in America, and even under our current contentious social religious climate, the likelihood of me facing the choice to either denounce my faith or be burned alive in a fire, it's still really unlikely. But what I do face, and often I might add, is the threat of social fire, leading to the death of my comfort and popularity. Now, I know this doesn't compare to being burned alive, but in the likes, followers, retweet-driven world that I live in, rejection by people does carry real impact. Can I be honest? It sucks sometimes always having to be ready to face a barrage of personal attacks and insults when I rebel and refuse to agree or participate in popular culture's flavor of the day. It hurts me to have people that I've loved completely cut me out of their lives or out of their social circles because of my faith. It angers me to deal with the injustice of being told how intolerant my beliefs are by people who can't even tolerate hearing what my beliefs are really about. I confess, sometimes I've taken the easy way out. I've let my silence give a figurative face bow to a belief or to a person who's opposed to God, just for the sake of not having to face the fire of weird looks, ugly commentary, and social ostracism. But then I remember scriptures like Matthew 10, verses 25 to 28, which I'll read to you now. So have no fear of them, for nothing is covered that will not be revealed, or hidden that will not be known. What I tell you in the dark, say in the light. And what you hear whispered, proclaim it on the housetops. And do not fear those who kill the body, but cannot kill the soul. Rather, fear him who can destroy both soul and body in hell. And then it goes on in verse 32 and 33. So everyone who acknowledges me before men, I also will acknowledge before my Father who is in heaven. But whoever denies me before men, I will also deny before my Father who is in heaven. I guess it all comes down to keeping perspective. I mean, what can people really do to me? If I really believe God is who he says he is, if I believe he has the power he says he has, if I believe really that he descended from heaven to live a life of suffering and to ultimately die for me, for my sin penalty, and that because of that, I now have an assured eternity in heaven with God. If I really believe all that, what's a little snubbing from people who don't like my faith because it means I rebel against the crowd for the sake of a prayer? I'll end this week with our words for sinking. Every day, we make a choice to either bow our face down to what society tells us to believe in, or to face up to the fire of taking a stand for who we believe in. Now, take some time during the rest of your day and reflect on the Sink a Little Deeper questions posted below this video. And don't be shy, be heard. Share your thoughts and reflections by posting a comment. Well, that's all our time for today. I have really enjoyed this, and I hope it's been as much of a blessing for you as it's been for me. Until next time, remember, do justice, love mercy, and walk humbly. Bye for now.